This month, we focused on these classes of business that we like to write. So we usually feature 9 to 10 classes of business each month for these specific marketing meetings. And we then also provide free content. So I placed the link in the chat. These are some of the free templates you get. These we make for you, and then we also provide captions as well as email templates that you can send to help market to these specific business classes. So sometimes I spend a little bit more time on that, but I want to just jump right into this content. So who is your ideal business customer? The first marketing meeting we had, we talked about target audience, and we talked about building a marketing strategy and how important it is. So your ideal client, your ideal, specifically small business customer. So I know you probably sell other products, so you might have a different ideal client, but your ideal small business customer, who do they look like? When you are doing making a persona, you can get really deep. You go into the demographic. Where do they live? How old are they? What do they do in their free time? How long have they been in business? What was their background in? And then what kind of business are they doing? Other questions you might want to ask is, what business comes across your desk the most? What industry do you bind the most? Do you get referrals? Who does it come from? And then where have you seen the most success? Your longest or happiest customers. These would be your ideal customer. So someone that you know that you've provided the best service for. Other questions to think about is, do you have this data? Do you have measurable data? Can you go through your quotes or your binds and categorize by industry? Do you keep track of all of this in a spreadsheet or an email? This will help with creating targeted email marketing messages. This was something else we talked about in a previous marketing meeting too, about how important targeted email messages are. And then other questions to keep in mind, again, is your target persona. Always keep them in the back of your mind, because how you market to them matters. Because if your ideal client is a Gen Z, where are they? What are they doing? You want to make sure you're where they are. If your ideal client is a boomer, you want to make sure you are where they are as well. And they're on different social media platforms nowadays. They're at different events. So keeping that in mind is really important. So again, we're going to talk about niche audience. I'm also going to try and use the example of travel agents moving forward, but I also may refer to them as just a niche audience. And again, I want to reiterate, I'm not telling you to just market to one specific industry, but it doesn't hurt to have content around a specific industry you really love and market to them. For example, on our podcast last year, we had an agent who loved food trucks, and she made it her, basically her personality. She wanted to write a lot of food truck business. So she started like a food truck blog. She started going out to food truck festivals. She started interviewing food truck owners. She was passionate about this because she also loved food and she also loved tacos. So of course, like, she made her niche audience something she loved. But that's not to say she wasn't binding business with other small businesses that were coming to her. She just really focused her strategy on making sure her keywords and her content reached her key audience because she knew that she could serve them well. So a marketing strategy. Some of the things that you'll need are to develop industry-specific messaging. So create customized messaging and content that speaks directly to the needs and pain points of your niche. Utilize industry-specific channels. Identify the most effective channels to reach your target audience. So using travel agents as an example. Consider partnerships with travel agencies, industry events, travel-related publications, websites, or social media groups that they may frequent. Offer industry-specific resources, so provide valuable resources and educational content tailored to their specific needs. It could include industry-specific guides, case studies, white papers, webinars, either live webinars or on-demand webinars that most importantly demonstrate your value and the value of small business insurance and why they need it. So why should they use you? So when you're doing marketing in general, you always want to make sure your value and your mission is standing out and that you're differentiating yourself from other insurance agencies in your area. Build relationships with industry, with that industry, with your niche market. Establish partnerships and sponsorships with industry associations and organizations that cater to travel agents, as an example of a niche market, or your niche market. This can help increase visibility within the industry and position the insurance agency, you, as a trusted provider of insurance solutions. Leverage referral programs, encourage satisfied clients within this industry to refer their colleagues and peers. This is really something that's not talked about a lot. Like, a lot of people focus on digital marketing, but boots on the ground, grassroots marketing, referral programs, they still work. And the last one, number 6, provide exceptional customer service. I don't think we need to dive into this because I know you all are already doing this. Okay, so now we're going to create an outline of a content strategy. So what content should be included? Educational blog posts, industry reports, testimonials, and downloads. What I mean by this are like one-pager downloads that specifically target your niche market. This could also be like infographics, things like that, social media campaigns, and then webinars and workshops. Okay, so that's a lot of content, right? Like, that's just the basics. That's just the top of what a content strategy can look like. We can throw in email marketing in there. We could throw in a lot of other things, but those are the basics of the content. But how do you create all of this? And this is just for a niche market, right? Like, when you are thinking about marketing, you don't want to solo out just this niche. You're still going to market to other industries and you're still going to market your business. But how do you create maybe once a week, target your niche market very specifically? So this is where we're going to talk about ChatGPT, and we've talked about this previously. So I just want to reiterate really quickly that your experience with ChatGPT or AI, if you've used it, may be that it doesn't work for you. That maybe you're just asking it one question at a time and you're getting a response that's generic. There are ways to avoid generic responses. And the most important thing to remember are the 3 Ps, which is prime, prompt, and polish. And we're going to get into this because I'm going to give you some prompts that can help create content. And we have pre-content creation prompts, but even before this prompt, there's even more that you can do. You want to think of AI as your in-house marketing expert. It's someone who works for you, but they don't know this yet. So in order to prompt them and get them to be at the level of expertise that you need to make sure they know about you. They know about your agency. They know about your mission. They know about your values. You can go even as deep as to send them a writing sample of things that you've done in the past so they know your brand and they know your voice. It takes a little bit to create the AI that is your in-house marketing expert because you are prompting it so much and you're priming it to give you the best results, but it's worth it because you can always revisit this AI. You can always go back to this exact AI that you created and they'll know all of this about you still, and they'll be able to produce better content for you that you may not need to spend another 20 minutes editing and maybe sounding less like a robot. So that's really important. Priming your AI and creating the persona, I guess, of what you want and the results that you want.
Paige, I have a question.
Yeah.
Is this something? And I don't, forgive me if you already discussed this, but the ChatGPT do you use do you recommend using a paid version, or can we get these results with a free version?
You can get these results with a free version. I recommend a paid version because you can get a little bit more. You can ask more prompts and you don't have to wait in line. If there is a line, sometimes there's not anymore. When it was testing back 8 months ago, there was definitely a line for the free use. I think I pay about $8 a month for it. But I have different AIs that I've created that help me with building out some tasks. So yeah, I do recommend the paid version, but you can do all of this with the free version, but you can't create multiple personas. So you would be able to have your one in-house marketing expert, but you wouldn't be able to have other saved prompts. Okay. So thank you, Ali, that was a really good question. Once we prime our AI and we've created it to the extent that we want it, that we believe that it will create the best content, now we're going to do pre-content creation. So now it knows all about us. And now we're going to ask it for audience insights. This is really important. Knowing about that niche market, finding what are their interests, what are their pain points, and what are their preferences. And you can even go as deep to like ask how many travel agents have small business insurance. What do they think about this? So if this data is out there, they can deliver this for you, and they can deliver in a way that makes sense. So even though this is just one prompt for each of these, you can even dive deeper. On this note, like it remembers too. So like once you go back to this prompt or this specific AI that you created, it will remember these insights. Then you want to go through trends of your niche, not just trends in the insurance industry, but what are they doing? And where are they? Because that's how you're going to reach them. So what content are they looking at? What events are they attending? Where are they in your local community or in your demographic, the area that you're targeting? And then you can dive in deeper and make it specific to insurance. Competitor analysis, you can even go as deep as telling them who your competitors are and doing some research on them and what they're doing, and if they're targeting your niche or if they're not targeting your niche. So knowing if you're competing with other keywords. So now we get into the content creation piece. And I know I'm going a little fast. You will get this PowerPoint too, so you'll be able to see all of these prompts. So now we can get recommendations of what should our content strategy look like. And the first response may be very basic. It may just be like 5 types of content strategy, like the slide that I had before of just like what it looks like, a blog post, and an infographic, a social media post. But with each of those that it provided, you can dive in deeper with it. Then we can go into personalization. So how should you, as the insurance agent at your agency, what should your message look like? And if you've prompt and primed your AI, they may know you very well. So they may be able to get this first try. And then we finally go into content strategy. And this is where if you want one piece of content for your niche market or 2 pieces of content a month, what does it look like for 6 months, a year? You can even ask it to make you a content calendar, put it in an Excel file or table format. There are so many that the options are endless. So you could start with a content strategy and then even go into content calendar. And then even more specifically, you can dive deeper with each piece of content. So if they say like, here's a blog post topic, these are the keywords that are really important, this is really important for SEO, then you can dive in deeper and say, can you write this blog post? And And then you can ask them to rephrase it to make sure the keywords are top of mind and that it's going to excel on SEO. And this is where you can maybe prime your AI to also be an SEO expert. So on top of them already being your marketing expert, you say, well, now you're an SEO expert too. So how do we really get this blog post to fit my needs? And then the last thing, maybe 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 months after you're putting this content out there, following up and doing performance tracking. And of course, you can do this manually too. You can look at your blog insights. You can look at Google Analytics. You can look at your social media insights, but you can also go back to your primed AI, the one that knows you, the one that works for you, and have them track it and give you the results. And then you can always improve with it and say, these are great results, but I want to see better. How can we get there? So I wanted to give an example. So I did all of this for travel agents, got a full content calendar of 6 weeks. I just took one of, or I guess 8 weeks, sorry. So they gave me all of these different campaigns. I dove in deep with every single one of them. But I shared the social media post and they provided a reel script. So a video script that's going to be really short, 15 seconds. That's what I asked for. And it gave 5 caption ideas. I only included 2 here. And I share this one because you might be thinking, oh, wow, they created a video script. That's not the content I need. That's not what I'm going to post. And you're right, it's not. But I'm going to share a link to our last marketing meeting on ChatGPT specifically. And I'll share it once I stop sharing my screen. But we created this video in, I think it was 2 minutes. We all did it together. I had everyone open Canva. You could use free Canva or you could have the paid version. The paid version has a lot more videos that you can use without copyright issues and things like that. And we created this reel. And I say this because the hardest part of a reel is the script. So yeah, I know I touched on a lot of stuff, so there might be a lot of questions. I am going to stop sharing my screen now.